It's wonderful to be able to showcase the Climate Research Accelerator projects that have been supported by Melbourne Climate Futures over the last 12 months. This is an opportunity to hear from each of the projects in terms of the work that they've been progressing through the 12 months.
For this project, we got funding from the CRX fund, which we are very grateful for, to work with Australian Indigenous authors, transdisciplinary climate researchers, English teachers, secondary English students, and industry partners, the Stella Prize. And we come together to address the imperative for climate education in schools, specifically through focusing on climate fiction.
It's predicted that over the next 20 years, embodied carbon to represent 50% of the carbon footprint of the world's construction activities. We need new data on the embodied carbon of construction materials, but that alone won't do it. We also need to integrate that data into decision making to change the way we design buildings. Reframe, which is the project supported by CRX, is the continuation of that. It's embedding that data and developing new approaches, new software tools to allow for the integration of embodied carbon into design decision making.
We were very thankful to receive this funding to support an effort to integrate Indigenous design with climate science. One of the ideas that we have developed with the Wurundjeri, with the traditional owners we're working with, is identifying geographic locations within the Birrung catchment area, that's the Yarra River that flows through Melbourne, that are culturally important, culturally significant, that we can start to work with stakeholders, with government, reviving those sites as cultural locations and establishing knowledge and cultural identity that can inform adaptation planning, land planning. In order to do that, this funding supported our effort to bridge between the traditional owner knowledge and digital technology. Based on that feedback and that guidance, we're going to do a final development of that tool as a representation of what the digital technology of the future could look like and how it might incorporate this complicated information more effectively.
We aim to advance our knowledge and then the practical knowledge in the utilization of waste glass for green concrete. The specific objective of our project is to develop the optimal mix design for the material and then investigate its performance and durability, as well as perform the cost and then environmental impact.
Our personal motivation is to see whether there's anything we can do to potentially incentivize providers of private capital to play a part in conserving biodiversity. Absent data and measurement, our fear is that this is just not going to be scaled to the billions of dollars that we would need in Australia in these types of financing instruments. We set out to try and build those data sets as part of this CRX project.
There is no question that private cars are going to transition to battery electric vehicles, but to decarbonize transport, electrifying is not enough. We need to charge vehicles using renewables. We developed a model, we are still developing the model, to calculate energy recovery via direct solar charging. And we are having successful engagement with the Electric Vehicle Council that sees a lot of potential for this to inform their advocacy.
We know that rainfall patterns are changing quite significantly with climate change, and that's generally leading to a drying of soil moisture in southeastern Australia, while some parts of the tropics are becoming wetter. Where this funding has been really valuable for us, we've been able to take Michelle's work of projected losses and look at coming up with some way of regionalising that to provide guidance to engineering practitioners to understand how they can project losses into the future to estimate future flood risk, so that we can, not build the house at a level that the risk of it being flooded is unacceptable.